Hello everybody, I am E. Krishna Rao Patro, Associate Professor in the Department of CSE from IARE College. So today we will discuss about the definition and terminology of third module. So this module talks about our linked list concepts. So what are the questions generally they are asking in terms of definition or in terms of some MCQs? Those questions you have to answer now. The first and simplest and foremost question is linked list. They will ask what is linked list, then how will you answer? The linked list is a linear data structure which will be storing set of nodes, and each node will be linking each other with the help of the next pointer. Or in a simple form you can say a linked list is a self-referential data type because it contains a pointer or link to another data of the same type. The linked list permits the insertion and removal of nodes at any point in the list at a constant amount of time, but do not allow random access. Or in a simple form you can say a linked list is a linear data structure which is collection of nodes where each node can point to another node with the help of a special link or a special pointer. This way you can say. In a diagrammatic form, you can write like this. This is a node. This is node 1. This is node 2. This is node 3. This is node 4. That means I have represented a linked list with 4 nodes. N1, N2, N3, N4. In every node, you are having the data part as well as the link part. This link part holds address of next node. Similarly, this is the data part, this is the next part. This is the data part, this is the next part. Data part, next part. And remember, in a simple form, you can write like this also. For example, the starting address is 100, second node address is 200, third node address is 300, and fourth is 400. Assume this is the address of each node. And moreover, this address will be generated during runtime. First node is pointing to second node. So when I say first node is pointing to second node, then what should I write here? Because here the address is 200. 200 is what? Address of second node. So the first node should point to second node. Second node means 200. So it should point to 200. So it says that first node is linking with second node. Similarly, second node is pointing to third node. So what is the address of third node? The address of third node is 300. So that means second node's the next pointer will be pointing to 300. So every pointer will be storing address of the next node. Similarly, this is the third node. In the third node, the value is C and it is pointing to where? Fourth node. So what is the address of fourth node? 400. So that means here you should write 400. Similarly, fourth node is pointing to nowhere. So that means it is null. It says that it is the last node of the linked list. So this is the way you can write the linked list. So most of the time in exam they will ask what is linked list, then you have to display it this way and you have to write a simple linked list representation with set of nodes and represent, and remember this address are not fixed. This is the address generated by system dynamically. But here I am assuming that address is 100, next 200, next 300, next 400. And you can have any number of nodes. In this example I have taken 4 nodes. Okay. Next question they will ask, what type of memory allocation is referred for linked list? Then you should say dynamic memory allocation is referred for a linked list. Remember, they will ask another question, what are the different types of memory allocation technique? What are the different types of memory allocation technique? Different types of memory allocation. Then answer is what? One is static, second is dynamic. So our linked list follows dynamic, whereas your normal variable, normal array follows static. So that means the memory which is allocated during comparison time, that is static allocation. The memory which is allocated during runtime, that is dynamic allocation. So as per the question here is concerned, what type of memory allocation is referred to linked list? So linked list follows dynamic memory allocation. Of course, they may ask another question. Dynamic memory allocation gets from which area of the RAM? Then you should say that is heap area. Dynamic memory linked with heap area. Because sometimes they may ask this type of question also. So you have to answer heap. Next, what are the dynamic data structures? Dynamic data structures are the structures that expand and contract as a program runs. As and when the program runs, it may expand or it may contract. So it provides a flexible means of manipulating the data because it can adjust according to the size of the data. So the size may reduce or size may increase in the case of dynamic data structure. For example, your linked list comes under dynamic. Single linked list, double linked list, circular linked list, everything comes under dynamic data structure. So this is the way you can answer. Then they may ask a question, what are the static data structures? Static data structure means generally you are a simple array or a variables, those are all static because those things will not decrease or will not increase. That is fixed. So the data structure which takes constant time or constant amount of memory, then those are static. Generally those variables or a array, those are all fixed. Whereas your question is dynamic. So dynamic data structure means your linked list at all comes under dynamic. Next, what are the application of linked list? They'll ask. What are the application of linked list? Both stacks and queues are comes under. You can implement using linked list. Linked list can be useful to implement stacks as well as queues because sometimes the number of elements you want to store in a stack you may not be knowing. So the linked list is the best concept. Other applications like skip list, binary tree, unrolled linked list, hash table, heap, self-organizing list or using linked list. That means you can implement those items using linked list concepts. So this is the best answer for this. Okay. So what do you have to say? Sometimes they may ask what are the applications of linked list. Then you should say the stacks and queues are often implemented using linked list. Other applications like skip list, binary tree, unrolled linked list, hash table, heap and self-organizing list are the application of linked list. Of course, you can write even your web applications because in the web application also the browser uses linked list. The web browsers uses also linked list concept because first page will be pointing to second page will be pointing to third page like this. So in the browser also there are two buttons, previous button and next button. When I click previous button, it goes to previous page. When I click next button, it goes to next page. So the web browser also uses linked list concepts. Similarly, they will ask how many pointers are required to implement a simple linked list. Then simply you can say there are generally 3 pointers. One is head pointer, tail pointer and a next pointer. Head pointer generally points to start of the record. Tail pointer pointing to last node of the list. And a normal pointer of every node pointing to next node of the element. They are the generally 3 pointers in a linked list. Head, tail and next. Next, what is the primary advantage of a linked list? Why the linked list are useful? Then you should say a linked list is an ideal data structure because it can be modified easily. And this means that editing a linked list works regardless of how many elements in the list. So, which is more flexible. Adding, inserting or deleting is easy in the case of normal linked list. Actually, other than linked list, there is another data structure called array. So, in array also you can store data, but there you cannot insert and delete easily. That takes a lot of time. Whereas linked list is more easy for insertion as well as deletion. As well as, of course, there is no wastage of memory also. Memory can be utilized efficiently in the case of linked list. That's why linked lists are useful. And they may ask a question, what is a double linked list? So, till now you have seen the single linked list. Now, The next question is what? What is a double linked list? A double linked list is also a linear data structure. It has two pointers, left pointer and right pointer, which enables to traverse in either direction. So with the help of the left, you can go left side. With the help of the right, you can go right side. So compared to single linked list, which is a next pointer, in the single linked list only next pointer is there. Where in the case of double linked list, you are having two pointers, which helps you to traverse in both the side. But in double linked list, it requires extra space to store the extra pointer. So every insertion and deletion requires manipulation of two pointer. So a double linked list is represented like this. In every node, you will have a left pointer as well as you will have a right pointer. Or you can say previous pointer and next pointer. Previous will be pointing to previous node and the next will point to next node. So this is the data part, this is the right part. This is data part, this is left and right. This is the data path, left and right. So in every node, you will have a two pointer. Sometimes we'll say previous, sometimes we'll say left. Or sometimes we'll say next, or sometimes we'll say right. And the last node's right pointer will be null. And first node's left will be null. So sometime in exam, they may ask a question. What is the double linked list? And represent through a diagram. Then you should represent in this way. Okay. Now here in this example, I have represented with 4 nodes. And remember, in every node, you should write data path as well as left link as well as right link. Next, they may ask a question. What is circular linked list? Then you should say, in circular linked list, there is a speciality. The last node of a single linear list, last node of a singly linear list, the link field often contains a null reference. In the case of linear, the last node's link is always pointing to null, means points to nowhere. Where in the case of circular linked list, the last node will be pointing to first node of the list. So a less common convention to make the last node to point to the first node of a list. So in this case, the list is said to be circular. That means this is the last node. This is the first node. This is the second node. This is the third node. This is the fourth node. This is the fifth node. Or you can say last node. The last node's link is pointing to first node. Assume this is the first node is 100. Second node is 200. Third node is 300. Fourth node is 400. Fifth node is 500. Now, this is the link path. So, this will be pointing to first node. First node means how much? 100. So, that means it's pointing to first node. So, this is the way the circular linked list is represented. Remember, in the case of normal list, you have to represent in normal way, where this will be null. Where in the case of circular linked list, the last node's link will be pointing to first node. So, first node's address will be stored here. Sometimes they may ask a question, how many null pointers are there in a circular linked list? How many null pointers? Question is what? How many null pointers? How many null pointers exist in a circular linked list? Now, your answer is what? The answer is because there is no null at all. It is pointing to again first node. So, answer is 0. Answer is 0. Next, they may ask a question. What is a memory efficient double linked list? Memory efficient double linked list. Remember, the name indicates what? Memory efficient. In the case of double linked list, in every node you are maintaining 2 pointers, left pointer as well as right pointer. But here, to avoid the wastage of memory, you have to use single pointer, but it will be helpful for both traversing left as well as right. How? There is a simple way. A memory efficient version of double linked list can be created using only one space for the address field of the every node. So that means in every node, we will have data path as well as the link path. And this link path will be holding a special type of address which will be useful for even traversing back as well as next. This memory efficient double linked list is called XOR linked list. So underline the word XOR linked list or memory efficient, as it list uses bitwise XOR operation to save the space for one address. So using this address, and you can do XOR operation with the previous address. So in XOR linked list, instead of storing actual memory address, every node stores XOR address of the previous as well as next node. So here you will be storing the previous and next node's XOR address. So this will be helpful for traversing back as well as the next. So instead of storing two address, you are storing only single, which is the XOR of address of the previous as well as next node. You can consider one simple example. Consider a double linked list where a ordinary and XOR representation of the double linked list. Node A, the next pointer, how to calculate, because this will be previous, there is, when A is the first node, there is no previous node. So when there is no previous node, the address will be 0. So 0 XOR with address of the B. For every node, there is address. So you can take the address of the B and you can apply this 0 with XOR, then so that you will get the next node's address. Automatically 200 will come. Okay. Next, for node B, what is the next node? This address you have to calculate. Address of the A, this address, XOR with address of the C. So for every node, there is address. So this address is XOR with the previous nodes. So when you do this XOR with this, then you will be getting this address. This is the address of what? XOR operation of node C's address as well as node A's address. So you can get this. Similarly for node C, add B as well as XOR of D. Assume D is the next node, D. So this address as well as this address, if you do XOR, then you will get the next nodes. So every time you will be doing XOR operation of the previous node as well as the next node. So that with a single pointer you are able to do double linked list operation. Of course, it requires little bit to operation, but memory is less. So it is a memory efficient double linked list. So in a memory efficient double linked list, every node will be storing a single address. That address is nothing but the XOR of previous node's address as well as next node's address. Okay. Similarly, they may ask another question. What is the time complexity of inserting a node in a double linked list? Remember, in a double linked list, you can do any operation. Inserting at the beginning, inserting in the middle, inserting at the end also. So in 3 different places, you can do insertion as well as deletion. But here the question is what? What is the time complexity for inserting a node in a double linked list? If you are inserting at the beginning, that is order of 1. But if you are inserting in somewhere in the middle, it requires time to traverse. It requires time to traverse till reach the nth place. So in the worst case, you may go up to till n. So the time complexity will be order of n, because you have to traverse till nth node. So answer is what? Order of n. In the worst case, the position to be inserted may be at the end of the list. Hence, you have to traverse the entire list to get the correct position. So the time complexity for inserting a node at the any position in a double linked list is order of n. Sometimes they may ask a question, what is the best case? Then in that case, sometimes you may insert at the beginning itself. So in that case, that will be order of 1. This is for best case. So in the worst case, order of n. Then they may ask a question, what is the time complexity of inserting a new node at the head of the circular linked list? Head of the circular linked list. So the time complexity for inserting a new node at the head of the circular linked list is order of n. Because you have to traverse to again beginning. So from tail you have to come to inserting a node at the head is order of n. Similarly, they may ask a question, what is the difference between circular linked list and normal linked list? Remember, in a circular linked list, the last node's link will be pointing to always first node. Where in the case of normal linked list, the last node's link will be pointing to null. So, Then what is the question? What is the difference between circular linked list and a normal linked list? Then you should say the next pointer points to null when the list is empty. Otherwise, it points to head of the circular linked list. If it is a normal linked list, the last pointer or last node's link points to null. In the case of circular linked list, the last node's link points to first node. That is the difference. So this is the circular linked list, where this is the normal linear linked list. This is also called linear linked list. And they may ask a question, in a normal linked list, how many null pointers are there? Then you should say 1. In a circular linked list, how many null pointers are there? Then you should say 0. Okay. Next, they may ask another question. What is a sparse matrix? What is a sparse matrix? Then you should say sparse matrix is a matrix in which most of the elements are 0. Sparse matrix is a special type of matrix in which most elements are 0. If a matrix contains more zeros than non-zero, if a matrix contains more zeros than non-zero, then that is called sparse matrix. Identity matrix is a matrix in which all principal diagonal elements are 1 and rest of elements are 0. So, unit matrix also a identity matrix, where zero matrix is a matrix in which all the elements are 0. But here they will ask, what is a sparse matrix? Then you should say a matrix which contains more zeros than non-zero. For example, here this is a sparse matrix. See the diagram. 0, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 0, 5, 7, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2, 6, 0. Now it is a 5 by 5 matrix. 5 by 5 matrix. So here how many elements are there? Totally 25 elements. Out of 25, how many non-zeros are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6. Out of 25, 6 are non-zero and 19 are 0. That means zeros are more. This is 0, this is non-zero. That's why it is a sparse matrix. And the sparse matrix you have to represent in this way. With how many values are there? Those values you should represent through row, column, value. 0th row, second column, value is 3. 0th row, fourth column, value is 4. 1th row, second column, value is 5. Similarly, 1th row, third column, value is 7. 3rd row, 1th column, value is 2. 3rd row, second column, value is 6. So, this matrix you can write in this way also. This is the sparse matrix representation. Sparse matrix representation. Next, they may ask another question. In the worst case, the number of comparisons needed to search a single linked list of length n for a given list. So, question is what? In worst case, the number of comparisons needed to search a data in a single linked list of length n for a given element is how much? That means, in a linear linked list, you have to search from beginning to till end. So, at most n comparisons required for searching. So, the time complexity is order of n. So, this is the answer. They may ask another question. Let P be a single linked list and Q be a pointer to an intermediate node X. That means you are having a single linked list. And Q be a pointer to intermediate node X. Assume Q is a pointer. This is the node X. Then what is that worst case time complexity to the best known algorithm to delete the node X? Now you want to delete the node X. But this node X address is known to the pointer Q. So as you know the address directly, now what is the time complexity they are asking? Because you know the address directly, the time complexity is constant. So it is fixed time. So already I told you the fixed time means order of 1 always. So whenever the amount of time is known, that means fixed amount of time always. then you write with order of 1. Because in the given question, Q is a pointer pointing to the node X. That means the address is already known. So if you want to delete this one, you can go there directly and adjust it. You will not traverse one by one because already you know the address. So directly go there and do the operation, which takes constant time. That's why it is order of 1. Next question. Let linked lists are not suitable data structure of which one of the following problem. Now the question is, for there are given problem. Insertion sort is there, binary search, and radix sort and polynomial manipulation. For which type of application linked list is not suitable? For insertion sort, linked list is okay. For radix sort, linked list is okay. For polynomial manipulation, linked list is okay. Whereas for binary search, linked list is not suitable, because in a binary search you have to do starting address plus ending address divided by 2. So starting address plus ending address by 2. That means you cannot come to middle of the linked list. So binary search is not suitable using linked list. So answer is this. Next question. Here consider the function f defined below. Linked list is given, means a structure is given in data, struct item star next. This is the given structure. Now question is what? Int f struct item star p, return p equal to null, or p of next is null, or p of data less than p of next of data and p of next. That means f is calling f. So if you execute this code, what is the output they are asking? Now that means f is calling f. When f is calling f, if first condition is true as well as second condition is true. What is the first condition? P is null. If first condition is true, or p of next is null, or p of data is greater than p of next of data. That means the data is going in a non-decreasing order, because first data is less than next data. So that means non-decreasing. That means increasing order. If the data is in increasing order or equal, then f is calling f. So it is keep on calling as long as this condition is true, because this condition is given. If p of data is less than or equal to this, less than or equal to means non-decreasing. That means increasing order. Next. Question is what? A circular linked list is used to represent a queue. A circular linked list is given to represent a queue. A single variable p is used to access a queue. Single variable p is given to access a queue. To which node should p point such that both the operations in NQ and DQ can be performed in a constant time? Where you should point, the point P should point to where you can do NQ and DQ. NQ means what? Insertion. As well as DQ means what? Deletion. Easily. Means constant time. If I point here, please observe, this is a circular single linked list. If I point here, I cannot go back, because I can go forward only. Whereas if I point here, I can do insertion here as well as I can do deletion here. That means if I point to rear pointer, I can do both insertion as well as deletion at constant time. So that's why answer is rear. This is the rear node. So if I point to rear, I can do insertion easily, as well as I can go front as well as delete. So insertion as well as deletion easy if I point to rear. Most of the time they will ask this type of question. How much time it takes to do this operation? So you must be very careful. Of course, if it is a double linked list, then you can say either front or rear, because in both way you can traverse. Whereas it is a single linked list, it is only one way. That's why you should come to rear pointer only. Because if I come here, I can go forward, but I cannot go backward. Deletion is easy, but insertion is not easy. Whereas here, in a case of single linked list, for insertion as well as deletion, if I point to P, if the point P points to rear, then NQ and DQ will be easy. Next. here the given question. The following C function takes a single linked list of integers as a parameter and rearrange the elements in the list. The function is called with a list containing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the following given order. So what is the content of the list after executing the function? That means if I execute this function, finally what is the output? If you observe here, the node is given. In the node you are having data. So how many data are there? 1, which is pointing to 2, 2 is pointing to 3, 3 is pointing to 4, 4 is pointing to 5, 5 is pointing to 6, and 6 is pointing to 7. 7 nodes are there in a single English form. But here the question is what? After executing this program, what is the output? If you observe here, in the program, if list is not empty, list of next is also not empty, then P equal to list and Q equal to Q of list. If P is here and Q is list of next, Q is pointing to next. Then while Q, that means if Q is not empty, then temp equal to P of value and P of value equal to Q of value and Q of value equal to P of. That means it is interchanging. 1 is going to 2, 2 is going to 1. That means 2 and 1 are coming. After that, P goes to Q of next. So P comes here and Q comes here. So P and Q are interchanging. So that means P moves forward, Q moves another forward. After that again, it is repeating. The loop is repeating. If you observe here, P and Q, wherever P is there and wherever Q is there, those two values are interchanged. So what is that question? P and Q. So P goes to Q of next. So that means P comes here and Q comes to Q of next. That means Q comes here. Every time P and Q are interchanging. That means 3 and 4 are interchanging. That means 4, 3. 4, 3. After that, again P goes to Q of next. P goes to Q of next. So P comes here and Q comes here. Every time the P and Q are changing and interchanging the value. So 6 and 5. And then P goes to Q of next. So P comes here, but Q goes out of boundary. Q goes to null. But here the question is what? If while Q is there, if Q is there, continue. But Q null means loop will terminate. So when the Q is terminating, what is the final value? Final value is 2, 1, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7. 6, 5, 7 is not interchanging. So this is the answer. B is the correct answer. So most of the time they will ask this type of question also. So you must be very careful for this. Next. Given question is the following C function takes simply a linked list and input argument. It modifies the list by moving the last element to the front of the list and returns the modified list, and some part of the code is left blank. Here, this blank is given here. So now this part you have to fill up. What purpose this is? It modifies the list by moving the last element to the front. Last element to the front. Now here, move to front. Already structure is given. In the structure, data is there as well as the next pointer is there. If head is null or head of next is null, return. That means if list is empty, return it. Otherwise, P is head. Initially P points to starting position. And inside the loop, P goes to, means P of next is null. If not null, Q goes to P and P goes to P of next. That means P goes forward and Q is one step back. So Q is one step back and P is one step forward. So when the loop is over, so at the end of the loop, Q comes here and P comes here. So when the loop is over, what you would write so that it comes to front. So Q of next should be null and P of next should be head so that it comes to front. So D will be the correct answer. Q of next will be null and P of next will be head so that it will come to front. and head will be the P. So head will be pointing to this. So you must manipulate where I should point so that I will be reaching to first. Because your goal is make this to first. So the last but one, put a null, and the last node you attach to front. So P of next equal to head, and head become P. So if you write this statement, this is the correct answer. Next, they may ask another question. Which of the following is not a disadvantage of using array? Fixed size is a disadvantage. Question is what? Not a disadvantage. So fixed size is not disadvantage. There are chances of wastage of memory if elements are inserted in the array lesser than the allocated space. Insertion based on the position. No. Accessing element at a specified position. It is not a disadvantage. Accessing element at a specified position is easy because by directly you are accessing the elements from the array. So which is fast, which is the advantage here. Whereas remaining are disadvantage. So here question is not a disadvantage. So in an array, you can access any element directly, very fast. So answer will be D. Array elements can be accessed in two steps. First, multiply the size of the data type with a specified position, and second, add the value to the base address. So both these addresses or both these operations can be done in a constant time. Hence it is advantage and is faster. That is the main plus point of array. So accessing the element is very fast in the case of array because you know the position directly. So this is the correct. Whereas fixed size is disadvantage, wastage of memory, and insertion also not easy. Next, they may ask another question. What is the time complexity of inserting at the end of dynamic array? It can be either order of 1 or it can be order of n. Because sometimes if the list is empty, because in dynamic array, sometimes the list may be empty, sometimes the list may have some elements. If list is empty, directly you can insert here in the beginning itself. That means constant time. That is order of 1. Whereas if there are set of nodes, then because you know the starting address. Now the question is what? What is the time complexity for inserting at the end? So if you want to insert, you have to traverse till end. So that means what? It takes order of n. So depending upon the situation, then you can answer. If list is empty, that is fixed time. If list having some elements, then that is order of n. Because n time you need to traverse. You have to traverse the entire list. That's why it is order of n. Okay. So you can read this also. Depending upon whether the array is full or not, that complexity in the dynamic array varies. If they try to insert an array which is not full, then the element simply stored at the end, which takes order of 1 time. If you try to insert into an array which is full, first you have to allocate the array with the double size the current array and then copy the element into it so that it takes order of n time. This is also another case. That's why answer is D. Next question, they may ask a question. How do you insert an element at the beginning of the list? They are giving 4 options. Which is the correct option for inserting the element at the beginning of the list? So which code is suitable to insert a node at the beginning of the list? Insert at the beginning. This is code. This is also one code. This is also one code. And this is also another code. Inserting a node means what? Always the head pointer has to be changed. So node dot next is head and head is node. So head pointer has to change. Whereas here head is node and node dot head. That means you have lost the address. Starting address gone. So that is not possible. Here node is temp node dot next is temp and head equal node. But head you are not moving at all. So it is also impossible. Node temp equal to create and node dot next this node equal head. That means this also not possible. So answer is first one. The next pointer points to head of the list and then make the new list to be. This is the correct way of implementing the inserting a node at the beginning. So most of the time they will give this type of 4 options. Then you have to choose which is the best one. First one, observe here, node dot set next head. That means whatever the node you are creating first, this is initially empty. So this should point to head first because this is the head. And after inserting this should be again beginning. That's why head equal to the new node. So this become head finally. So that's why this first one is the correct one. Next, they may ask what is the output of the following code. What exactly this code does. Because most of the time they will ask, read the code and what exactly this code is doing. Now here what is doing? You are passing starting node's address. That means head pointer. Size equal 0. Current node equal head. While current not null. Size plus plus. Current equal to get next. That means current equal next. It goes to sex. That means assume you are having some 3 nodes are there. Initially, I got the starting address head. Head is pointing to first node. Some data 10. Second node contain 20. Third node contain 30. Now here, head is pointing to first node. This is pointing to second node. And this is pointing to third node. And this is pointing to null. So that means if you observe here, current equal head. That means current is pointing to first node. Then current is not null. Yes. Go inside. Current equal current of next. See, current dot get next means it going to second node. So current pointer is pointing to second pointer. So that means every time the size is incrementing. Here size is 1. Here size is 2. Then again current goes to this. Size is 3. Then after that current equal current of next. So current goes to null. So whenever current is null, the loop will terminate. By that time the size is 3. So that means it is counting the elements of the list. It is counting the elements of the list. So you have to check what exactly this code is doing. They may give multiple options, counting the nodes or inserting a data or deleting a data or traversing the entire list to display the data. It is not displaying. It is only counting. So answer is counting the elements of the list. Next question. They may ask which of these is not application of linked list, where linked lists are not used. To implement file system, you can use linked list. Yes. To prepare chaining hash table, yeah, linked list can be used. To implement non-binary trees, linked list can be used. But for random access, linked lists are not at all useful because randomly you cannot go. Because every node knows the address of next node only. First node will be knowing address of second node. Second will be knowing the third node. Third will be knowing fourth node. Whereas I cannot go to fifth node directly. Or I cannot go to nth node directly. That's why random access is not possible. So, whenever this type of question they are asking, you have to first read the options properly, then answer. So, random access is not possible for a linked list. Next question, they may ask a question. What is the functionality of the following piece of code? What exactly this code is doing? If you observe here, function int data is taking data first. Temp equal head, where equal 0, while temp not null. That means if temp is not null, initially temp is holding the address of the linked list, starting address. Temp dot get data and data. It is checking whether data is available in the first node or not. If it is available, return it. That means what? It is comparing the given data. Whatever data you are passing, it is checking whether data is available in the list or not. If it is not there, then go to where plus 1, temp equal to get next. It goes to next. It is keep on going. It is keep on going. Wherever it is found, return this. That means it is searching the data. Whatever the data you are asking, it is searching. So that means they are given the 4 option. Find and delete a given element. No. Find and return the element list. No. Find and return the position where exactly the data is available. Because if you observe here, every time it is giving the position where plus plus. Initially where was 0, variable means the position. If it is available, return the where means it is nothing but the position. Initially position 0. So whenever it is equal, return the position. If it is not equal, position equal to position plus 1. Every time the position is changing. And when the loop is over, still if it is not there, then return the minimum value. It returns the minus value. It indicates that data not found. That's why here the question is what? It is finding the position of the required element. So answer is C. Okay. Thank you. So this is the way you can answer.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.